All right. Might have to reposition myself depending on what I do here. All right. So here we are. The Beach. So this is Maxroll's build planner. This is excellent for if you are going to try to make your own build. And fortunately happens to include all of the tools that you need. Now, I don't know if this will be able to look up uniques, but at the same time, I'm kind of want to be at least a little bit surprised by some of the uniques I find. But I'm not sure we've got the full record yet. But probably at this point, and EA's been out long enough that we probably have all of the uniques, whether or not Maxwell has them or not. All right. So I'm actually going to start by looking at the skills. So let's start by just looking at minion. So apparently this only looks by title. So we're gonna have to filter this out otherwise. We have active skills. Oh yeah, because we don't have X yet, that's why. So we have Occult. So we have Contagion, which is our classic EDC. We have Skeletal Sniper, long-range reviving skeletal snipers that can fire as gas arrow on command. That's kind of cool. Persistent physical fire and chaos. Skeletal Warrior. Skeleton Warriors. These are just kind of our basic skeletal minion. And then Unearth. See, damaging enemies, bones of corpses in the area are ripped out and assembled into short-lived bone construct minions that fight for you. Oh wow, we can get up to 20 bone constructs. Nice. This is physical damage. So, right off the bat, we can start by just kind of like just filling out like all of the minion skills. All right, and we have Bone Cage. Raise a ring of bone spikes around you. The spikes are destroyed when you touch them, damaging and pinning those enemies. This is kind of like a defensive one. But our minions, our goal is to have our minions be our primary defensive layer. That doesn't mean we're not going to use this temporarily. But Enfeeble. We'll probably pick up and choose some curses later. Curse applies after 1 second delay. Curse radius. Curse duration. Curse normal magic or rare enemies deal 20 to 26% less damage. Curse unique enemies deal 10 to 16% less damage. Okay, and then here's the ED of EDC. And then we have the Arsonist. Some of the bomb-throwing, reviving skeletal arsonists that can detonate other minions on command. $39 to $90 spirit. Does spirit reservation for these go up as they go up in level? Blast for me, blast for you, blast for everybody. All right, Bone Storm. We'll look at attacks. Now here we go. Pain Authoring. Impales a skeleton on a bone spike to send nearby minions into a frenzy as long as the spike remains, causing them to use skills more quickly and deal more damage. The bone spike itself is a minion. If it dies, the effect ends immediately. Limit 1 pain offering spike, or radius is 6 meters, so you have to be pretty close. Increased area of effect might be something to level for our witch. Has his increased duration. At least for QOL of playing it. We have Zombies. Consumes a corpse or power charge to create a short-lived zombie. Zombies created from power charges are empowered. Limit 10 raised zombies. Zombie duration is 20 seconds. Empowered zombies, again, the duration might be out. Empowered zombies take 30% less damage. Empowered zombies deal 100% more damage with hits. Powered zombies have 5% more movement speed. So power charge generation might be something we need to look into. Skeletal Frost Mage. Now the big thing here with the Frost Mage is that might kill bodies. So if I'm using bodies, that's not potentially a good thing. DD. Profane Ritual. Marks a corpse with a profane rune, dealing chaos damage over time to nearby enemies. When the ritual is complete, the corpse is consumed and you gain a power charge. So you still need corpse generation. Vulnerability. Curses all targets in the area after a short delay, making hits against them ignores a portion of their armor. Dark Effigy raises a totem that bombards enemies afflicted by chaos damage over time debuffs. That actually seems really, really cool. Despair. Curse all targets in the area after a short delay, lowering their chaos resistance. Skeletal Reaver. All right, we're at 6. Well, we'll probably prune down our skeletons in a second. Bone Offering. Impales a skeleton on a bone spike to shield your minions. While the spike remains, the shield absorbs all damage for the next hit each minion takes, then explodes. The bone spike itself is a minion and shields itself. If it dies, shields on your other minions disappears. So this actually might be one where I want to like toggle between the two. Like if the enemy is about to like lay down like a big slam, use Bone Offering. Oops, we're not there yet. We are not there yet. So Detonate a curse on every enemy in the area, causing explosions of chaos damage, but removing the curse. Skeletal Storm Mage. Call on Lightning Storm on dead skeletons on command. Skeletal Brute. And Skeletal Cleric. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So that's all of our skills would be required to get all. Of course, we wouldn't have enough spirit for this. And then we also want to take a look at Soul Offering. Pales a skeleton on a bone spike, granting you a powerful spell damage buff as long as the spike remains, does not affect your minions. So this is not going to be what we use for this build, because this build's all going to be about our minions. All right. So right off the bat, I want both of the offerings. So I have a feeling what we're going to end up doing is we're going to be using Unearth for, like, initially, and then replace it with the zombies later. I have a feeling Skeletal Warrior is probably going to be my default skeleton. Because what I think the big combo is I think we have a bunch of Skeletal Warriors and then we have Skeletal Storm Mage. That as soon as, like, a bunch of my skeletons die, I trigger the Skeletal Storm Mage and they basically let off all of my Skeletal Warriors. These Skeletal Warriors 20 spirit. Actually, real quick, let me, out of curiosity. Oh, I hit the wrong button. That's what I wanted to do. Let's bring back Sniper for a second. Okay. So Sniper's 30, the Warrior is 20. So yeah, so we do not want we're mostly going to probably be focused on the Warrior and the Storm Mage. Like, that's going to be our primary. Reaver, they're 30. I think eventually Arsonist is probably going to go away. Now, the thing is this deals damage. This is, like, right now, this is our only, like, direct damage dealer. Now, this is not including what we get on our Scepter. Because different Scepters have access to different spells. So like, well, I think we start with like a Scepter with Skeletal Warrior. So. All right. I still need to figure out power charge generation. Really quickly. And see what we got in the tree for power charge generation. So this is Power of the Dead. That is not a power charge generator. Gain power charges instead of frenzy charges. Gain frenzy charges instead of endurance charges. Gain endurance charges instead of power charges. So if I went into Dex and like got frenzy, got some form of getting frenzy charges from the ranger skills. Down here, that if you would gain power charges, instead gain up to your maximum number of power charges plus 1 power charge. And then up here, just flat +2 to maximum power charges. Quarterstaff skill that consumes power charges count as consuming an additional power charge. Oh yeah, these are empowered. Yeah, empower and power. Because that's the wrong side of the tree for power charges. Okay. So right now, I don't have any means of gaining power charges. What I want is I want some way to gain power charges, but we haven't looked at spirit spenders yet, other than the fact that my minions are spending spirit. But they've got work to do. I don't know if we're actually like it'll be nice to have the stun prime, like having one of these guys just to potentially prime. But the problem is I'm willing to bet I won't be able to keep them alive. 4, 5, 6, 7. So I want both. I probably won't be able to get both. I'll probably end up with just Bone Offering, but we might be able to work in the other one. And that'll give me kind of like a Thorns kind of thing. And I'm also going to look to see if there is a way to just get Thorns. And so the whole idea is that I have a bunch of Skeletal Warriors. They die, I use Skeletal Storm Mage, and then the Skeletal Clerics will be reviving them. That's the plan, at least. That is the plan. All right. Let's take a look at, see if we've got anything here for Witch. So Grim Feast feeds on a corpse to bolster your energy shield. While active, enemies and reviving minions that die in your presence have a chance to drop Grim Remnants. Picking up a Grim Remnants grants you energy shield, which can overflow maximum energy shield. That's pretty freaking cool. And again, this synergizes with what I'm trying to do here. Withering Presence, while active, periodically withers enemies in your presence. Barrier Invocation. While active, this invocation gains energy. When your energy shield is damaged by hits, using invocation once sufficient energy is gathered will consume energy to trigger socketed spells and can trigger them multiple times if it has enough energy. Blasphemy. This turns socketed curse skill into vile auras, applying their effects to all nearby enemies. Socketed curse skill apply in an area around you. Reserve 60 spirit per socketed curse. 41 to 50% less effect of socketed curses. Socketed skills have +1 meter to base duration. Cast on minion death. While active, gain energy when one of your minions is killed. Triggers socketed spells upon reaching maximum energy. Cannot socket spells which create minions. Gain 50 base energy when a minion is killed, modified by the minion's power. Increase energy gain, triggers all socketed spells and loses all energy on reaching maximum energy. Cast on critical. And then sacrifice. While active, your undead reviving minions can be used in place of corpses by your skills, but your minions revive more slowly. I'm not sure that's going to work for what I want to do. I'm not sure that's going to work for what I want to do. Now, granted, I will have the cleric potentially reviving, but this is also 60 spirit. All right. Next, we're going to take a look at Elemental. All right, Flame Wall. So create a wall of fire in front of the character, which ignites every single instant area. Any projectile fires through the wall. Yeah, we know how Flame Wall works. We know how Frostbomb works. Again, I'm looking for power charge stuff. Incinerate. Solar Orb. Conductivity, flammability, and hypothermia. Fireball! Oh, sorry. Mana Tempest, Lightning Warp. Ball Lightning, Comet. Firestorm. Eye of Winter. Flame Dash. Okay, Temporal Chains. All right. So next we will look at the Elementalist, or the Sorceress, I should say. All right, we have Arctic Armor. We have Mana Remnants. Raging Spirits. This is a minion. We're going to do this with the Infernalist, potentially. Do an Infernalist Raging Spirits build. Cast on Freeze, cast on Ignite, cast on Shock. Archmage. Blink. And Elemental Conflux. greatly more damage of a randomly chosen element. The elemental effect changes frequently. So the same element can be affected multiple times in succession. All right. So I'm not sure I want to equip a quarterstaff. But we can look at the monk and see if they've got any way of gaining charges through their spirit reservation. So we have Ghost Dance, we have Herald of Ice, and Herald of Thunder. They also have Barrier Invocation, Elemental Invocation, Lingering Illusion, Cast on Dodge. Here we go. Charge Infusion consumes one of each charge every 3 to 4. More critical hit chance while you have a power charge, more defenses while you have an endurance charge, more skill speed while you have a frenzy charge. That is an interesting one. And then Reaper's Invocation. Okay. So if we go to Quarterstaff, we know that Killing Palm, dash to an enemy and strike them with an unarmed attack, calling enemies if their life is low. Requires unarmed or quarterstaff. I might check to see if I can use it. Because this is a power charge generator, so. And it can't be evaded, so it doesn't require accuracy. So this might be a way to keep zombies up and running. The problem is, again, it requires an enemy I can call. That's the big problem. So it doesn't give me zombies as a way to deal with bosses, for example. Now, if the bosses have ads, that's a different story, but still. That requires 4 combo to use. Ice Strike. Looking again for more power charge stuff. So if I'm going to use zombies, I need some form of power charge generation, and I'm not really seeing any, like with the exception of Killing Palm. And again, Killing Palm can't be used with bosses. So, or at least it's not reliable for use with bosses. So the only other option is to real quick we'll do probably enfeeble. So yeah, so the only other option is to use sacrifice and then combine sacrifice with but the big problem is it's 60 spirit. But in theory, what I can do, this might be the play. Like, this legit might be the play, actually. So we go with sacrifice. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here, we'll move an earth up. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Ow. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'm going to take a look at the animal. I should have looked at these first, but real quick, let's finish what I was doing. Not dark effigy. Here we go. Profane ritual, I think is what it was. No, that's not the one either. Where was it? Which one was it? Oh, here we go. No, it is profane ritual. Okay. And then we would lose unearth. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we would we would have our skeleton warriors. We'd have sacrifice up. We'd hit a skeleton warrior with profane ritual and then use that to raise zombies. And that should allow us to keep zombies coming as long as our clerics are reviving the skeletons. And that should hopefully make up for using the spirit on sacrifice. Pardon me. So that is I think something we have potential there for. So that gives us power charge generation, the ability to raise zombies, and then we combine that with some of this power charge stuff on the tree, and that should. And additionally, the profane ritual will also be a damage dealer. So now, real quick, let's again go back in, and let's take a look at item skills. Should have done this to begin with. All right, so we have Bone Blast. Conjures a circle of ritual inscriptions that last for a short duration. When the duration ends, spikes of bone erupt from the enemies in the area, damaging them and potentially causing bleeding. Yikes! That's mean. We have Chaos Bolt, which is just a flat chaos damage spell. We've already got the axes and the claws and stuff in here. My guess is they data mined these, because obviously we don't have those weapons yet. Punch! All right, we have Consecrate, which just creates Consecrated Ground, and Consecrated Ground looks like it does what it's always done. Okay, that does not work. So we cannot inspect from there. Crossbow shot, daggers. Okay, Dark Pact. Sacrifice the life of a reviving minion to deal chaos damage in an area around it. If you have no minions, your own life is sacrificed instead. So there's another potential dealer, but again, wanna be careful there because we're already using minions. Decompose consumes a course to create a cloud of flammable gas. Discipline emits an aura that grants allies in your presence additional total energy shield. The aura does not affect you. Exsanguinate. Expel your own blood as chaining blood tendrils in a cone in front of you. Enemies hit by the tendrils take physical damage and are inflicted with a debuff that deals physical damage over time, but is not bleeding or corruption. Firebolt! Flail. Freezing Shards. Galvanic Field grants a buff that boosts your shock chance. Lightning Bolt. Living Bomb. Plant a seed of fire inside an enemy, which grows over a duration. When the duration expires, the seed explodes, damaging the enemy and all other enemies nearby. You can only have one active at a time, it looks like. All right, we got our maces. Malice. Emits an aura that continually inflicts critical weakness on enemies in your presence. Don't know what critical weakness does, but probably increases vulnerability to critical strike. Mana Drain. Siphons power from an enemy, briefly hindering them and leeching mana. Power Siphon. Attempts to rip the life force from an enemy. Enemies within culling range will be highlighted and instantly killed on hit, granting a power charge. Can only target enemies in culling range. So that would allow us to get rid of, if we found this, if we found Power Siphon, that would allow us to get rid of the zombie ones. So I'm going to look for this. I'm not sure. Might have to look around, see which, see if it says what weapon gives that. We have the Purities. Reap. Conjures a bloody scythe that sweeps across the targeted area, dealing physical damage to enemies and implying critical weakness. Shock Nova, Sigil of Power. Minimum 1 second between gaining stages. So you place a sigil on the ground, providing a powerful spell damage buff to you and allies. While standing in it, the buff becomes more powerful the more mana you spend while standing in the sigil. Skeleton Warrior. Soul Rend. Fires a piercing projectile that seeks out enemies. Enemies hit are inflicted with a debuff that hinders them and deals chaos damage over time for a short duration. Spear Stab, Sword Slash with Slash. Unleash. Volatile Dead. And then Weezer. All right. What gives us Power Siphon? Power Siphon would be ideal. No, let's find out. Okay, so here's Power Siphon. Okay. All right, this is what can spawn on foci as far as mods are concerned. Well, let's just Google it. PoE2, what item grants Power Siphon? How to get Power Siphon? Power Siphon can be crafted by engraving it onto an uncut spirit gem. Yeah, that's Fextra Life. I'm not sure I trust Fextra Life. And that'll be PoE1. And doesn't show what we got there. Okay, so we're gonna look for a way to get Power Siphon because that'll allow me to just rotate in more of my minions. So we'll look for an item that has Power Siphon, or it said Spear Gems can get it. But okay. The next place to look is looking at the Ascendancy. So right now I'm on Witch. Let's pull up everyone's favorite new demon mommy, the Infernalist. All right. So we've got Grinning Immolation, become ignited when you deal a critical hit, taking 15% of your life and energy shield as fire damage per second. But you get 30% more critical damage. You got 20% of damage from hits is taken from your Hellhound's life before you, and you get Summon Infernal Hound. We have Altered Flesh, which makes everything fire damage, except for physical damage, which becomes chaos damage. Which is not what you would normally want or expect from an energy shield either. In exchange, though, you can get Bedat's Gaze, which reserves some of your life, but gives you more mana. Bedat's Will, which gives you more spirit. And Bedat's Hand, which gives you more energy shield. So this is probably the one that we want, is we want Bedat's Will. And we have Demon Form. And then finally we have the Pyromantic Pact, which replaces all of our mana with Infernal Flame. Now the good news is, or like the news would be, that if I'm going with Altered Flesh, then chances are, though I wear a silly grin, also will be having the Loyal Hellhound. We've got Seething Body would probably be one we want because our minions count as allies. But it's 20% of their damage becomes fire damage. They don't... While on High Infernal Flame, you and allies in your presence gain 20% of damage as fire damage. It's not extra fire damage. While not on low Internal Flame, all damage from you and allies in your presence contributes to Ignite chance and magnitude. So I feel let's take a look at the Infernal Hellhound. It doesn't require any spirit. So it's like, I kind of, if I'm going to do a full minion build, like I kind of feel like, oh, I should have that. And then I guess I could just go into demon form. Shapeshift into a demon, vastly boosting the power of your spells. You gain Demon Flame every second you remain in demon form, causing your life to be lost at an ever-increasing rate. Revert to a human form if you reach 1 life. Use a skill that isn't a spell or reactivate this skill. So, like, I could just grab that for, like, brief spikes of damage. Especially if I get to the point where I can put another damaging skill back in here, either from a weapon or what have you. All right, so there's option 1. And this one seems, I think, to be the best because of Beidot's Will. But we will take a look at our Blood Mage. Why is Crimson Power highlight? Oh, because I've still got powers being searched for. There we go. All right, so this one, obviously, this one immediately puts us in Sanguimancy. There is no ifs, ands, or buts. You're doing Sanguimancy if you're becoming a Blood Mage. And then we have critical damage bonus per 40 life. Critical hit chance for spells is 15%. Then we have 10% of spell damage leached as life. Your curses have infinite duration. Gain 10% of damage as extra physical damage. Elemental damage also contributes to bleeding magnitude. Uh, 25% of life lost from hits is prevented, then that much life is lost over 4 seconds instead. And gain energy shield from equipped body armor as extra maximum life. So this is all about augmenting our character power. So if we're doing self-casting, then this is what we would use. So we do want to go with the Infernalist. We're going to grab Beidot's Will. We're going to grab our Hellhound, and then we're probably just going to grab Demonic Form, because we're not going to worry about doing critical hits. And I would not take Pyromantic Pact unless you are going to go into Bringer of Flame, or Seizing Body. And I don't feel like taking Beidot's Hand. Because we're going to lose some amount of life. You know, we'll basically be at if I took Beidot's Hand, I'd be at half life, and yeah, I'd get some ES to back it up, but it might actually still be the play. Beidot's Hand actually legitimately might still be the play. We'll have to see how it would be the last one I grabbed anyway, so I might actually we'll just uncheck those and then we'll see how it plays and figure out the rest. Now, okay, into the skill tree. Dun dun dun. Skill Terrassel. Ooh, minion tab. Minions. All right. So first thing to look for, is there anything on our skill tree that gives us spirit? So here we have Spirit Bonds. This is for link skills. Spirit Bond. Might want to do some renaming there, GGG. Unlimited number of summoned totems. Totems reserve 100 spirit each. Interesting. So if you can get a lot of spirit, okay. So basically, there is no spirit on the tree. I've taken the only spirit buff I can get. So all of my spirit is going to have to come from equipment. Okay. So that makes my next question becomes, what about resistances? So if I'm going to be taking a lot of if I'm going to be taking a lot of extra fire damage, or I'm going to be doing fire damage conversion, I should make sure I have high fire resist. So that is step one. Make sure I have high fire resist. That's step one. Step two is I'm also going to just want to have less resistance on my gear, or need to rely on less resistance on my gear, because spirit on my gear is going to become so important. So because spirit becomes such an incredible, so I'm going to need a life, I'm going to need spirit, I'm going to need energy shield. Like if I can ease up the requirements for resistances, that would be a good thing. All right, so starting in our quadrant, well, I shouldn't say quadrant because it's, I guess it would be a sextant. We have Spiral into Mania, which gives us increased cast speed and chaos resistance. And we pick up chaos resistance or cast speed on the way too. Out of curiosity, we have Spiral into Depression, which is increased movement speed in ES, and then just increased chaos damage and increased global defenses. So again, ES will be important, so this is slightly off of our tree. So we'd be coming over here after picking up Raw Destruction. So yeah, life, not on the tree. Energy shield, you bet your butt energy shield's on the tree. Either way though, I always stack damage first. So we have spell and minion damage. We're going to do increased damage. Can always swing back and grab the life notes too. And then Hello. Okay, so there's some extra chaos resistance, which we will need. All right, here we have penetration of various resistances. And here we have minions penetrating, or no, minions gaining resistances. So that might be important. Enemies you curse have -3 chaos resistance. That's nice. Here's again buff to minions. All right, here's a nice flat +5 to all elemental. Now this feels like kind of a waste, but again, because we're not using, but we might have some fire damage coming out, so. And again, more protection for our minions. Even more protection for our minions. All right, here is some maximum elemental resistance for us. And that does come with some energy shield too, which is nice. More minion protection. They really like the spirals with these chaos damage then. Spaghettification. Love it. Just love it. Increased movement speed, increased chaos damage, minus chaos resistance, minus light radius, but increased attributes. Okay. All that is penetrating resistances. Strangely, not a lot of resistance stuff on the lower half of the tree here. That's an odd combo. At least it seems a mana leech and cold resistance. Penetration, penetration. Totems. We have unnatural resilience. Now, if I were going to go completely spammy with the Infernalist, I would feel almost compelled to see if I could find my way down here to grab unnatural resilience and come down this way over this way while I did it. out of curiosity, okay, it's saying that is the quickest path from my current tree to Prism Guard. And that conveniently enough paths me through the fire resistance. And that actually only added, oh, I unclicked it. That brought me to 44. Oh, darn it. All right, let's try this again. Okay. Now, if I wanted to come down here and grab this, that would bring me up to 55. And the only thing I would gain to benefit from this would be the penetration of 6 fire resistance. And damage against ignited enemies, which would be that being said, I don't think that that is necessary. I just do wish that there were more resistances I could pick up that were easy to grab. I could grab Fireproof here. Yeah, I think we got this one. We got the all natural. I might still, like there are minion nodes here. Also, let's take a look, because next we want to look at duration. So increase chaos damage and increase skill effect duration. Yoink. Yoink. Now those aren't the power charge ones I want. Hold on, let's go back actually. Yeah, that might be, this might be a nicer one to grab. Or like you got that chance to gain maximum power charges. Did I check for resist over here? Yeah, I don't think... Anyway. All right, back to duration. Ooh, debuffs you inflict have 10% increased slow magnitude. Nice. Can I get temp chains? Temp chains would be very nice. That's links, I think. Yeah, that's links. Increase spell damage and increase duration. Increase duration of shock chance. Night. Reduce curse duration. Increased effect of curses. Increase curse duration. Increased effect of curses. See, that's all elemental ailment duration. Or maybe stacking a bit too much duration though. Might be getting a little zealous there. Might need to start trading things off. Especially with me stretching all the way over here. That's armor break. These are also elemental ailments. That's an ailment. This one is spell damage and duration. Okay. So, one thing I want to check. Thorn! Nope, all the thorns is down over here. Increase block chance and thorn damage. In physical thorns, damage equal to 2% of armor from equipped body armor. Plus 5 to thorns critical hits chance. I never expected to see that. I will try one of these days the Thorns Warrior build out of curiosity. All right. Let's light this up like a Christmas tree. Okay. So we'll mostly focus on notables for now, and we'll come back and maybe pick up some of the small passives. Okay. That's life. That is life. And minions revive faster. That could be useful. That could be useful indeed. All right, we got this big circle here, which has minions revive faster, elemental resistances, and increased area of effect. Now this area, actually I should take a look at area real quick. Here's specifically area of effect of curses. Enemies you curse are hindered with 15% reduced movement speed. That's nice. Didn't I see something with slowing debuffs? Didn't I see something over here or something like that? Was it a duration one? Where did I see that? This is all skill effect duration. Where did I see that? Increase curse rate. Enemies cursed by you have 50% reduced life regeneration rate. That's good. Enemies you curse cannot recharge energy shield. Increase cast speed with cold skills. Faster curse activation. Your curse has 20% increased effect if 50% of curse duration expired. Man, where did I see that? There it is. 20% increase skill effect duration. Debuffs you inflict have 10% increase low magnitude. I'm not sure that that will apply with enemies are hindered. I definitely like that one. I definitely like the look of that one. All right, back to area. %35% increased spell area damage. Spell skills have 10% reduced. Reduced spell area. Spell skills have 30% increased area of effect. I just want flat area of effect. Here we go. Burning enemies you kill have a 5% chance to explode. That's minion area of effect. Chance to knock back enemies on hit. 25% increased area spell area damage. Spell skills have increased area of effect. Increased area of effect if you've killed recently. Increased area of effect for attacks. So it's hard to get just generic area of effect. Here we go. Increased area of effect, increased area damage. Have to come through here. Which isn't necessarily a bad thing coming through here. But I was hoping, like, I'm all over the place. Like, look at this. I'm just all over the place. This is making me wish I'd go with a Fire Infernalist first. Are curses spells? Hold on. Faint Ritual and Feeble. Yes, they are a spell. So they would benefit from this. Let's go ahead and delete Demon Form for now, because I'm still not sure about that one. I mean, I'm kind of all over the place here. Now, part of that is going over to grab this. That's area of effect for attacks. So I'm curious. See, need to check one more area of effect. This is definitely a spell. Yeah, AoE Chaos Duration. No, this is a minion. So I can come over here and grab Devoted Protector. Grab a little regen. Grab some damage recouped his life. Grab some just flat increased damage and increased critical. And then area and area. Again, we're really pushing it here. We are really pushing it. We're probably going to give up. Man, I like the power charge with energy shield. I like that synergy. I really like that synergy. But I'm probably going to have to give those up. The good news is there's minion nodes I can take around here. All right. Let's take a look at minion stuff. And again, just the tree lights up. I mean, heck, there's minion stuff right here. So I came over here, grabbed this stuff here. That's auras from skills. That's mana regen. So I can come grab some mana regen. Then do just minions increase damage. I don't know if I've actually got anything giving it aura though. I mean, seriously, just look at all of this. Look at it all. We might end up just having to hunt for resist or rely on minions and staying back from combat. Might come back down that way, but again, we're just a little stretched out. We're a little spread thin. Oh no! What happened? What did I do? What did I do? All right, well, let's see, I wonder if there's a way to redo, let's see. Okay, that's my ascendancy. Okay, it's not letting me. Oh, wait, here we go. This is what I did. Okay. There we go. Okay, I was accidentally clicking down here. Okay, that's an interesting feature. That is a neat little feature. All right, so we have a minion circle here. We've actually got... There's a decent chunk on this tree for buffing minions. Like... There's a lot here that we can potentially do. There is a lot here we can potentially do. All right, this is one of those ones where it's like, all right, I kind of want to... Oh, no. I kind of want to start breaking up the spreadsheets. Start doing some of this on my own. Okay. So, I've actually been streaming longer than I was expecting to stream. And I am starting to flag. Like, I'm seriously starting to flag here. So I might what I might do is I might look at like the various things I want and the kind of efficiency I'm getting, and we'll see about doing that, and then I might do another stream before actually playing this character, talking about what I decided to go with. So, but I think I am going to call it here. So we've made some decisions. We've at least decided on the ascendancy and which ascendancy nodes we're going to get. But I'm going to have to do a little bit more fine-tuning here. It's time to do what we did before Path of Building came around and break out the spreadsheets. All right. So until then, thank you so much for joining me. I've been Exile, and I'll see you all in Ray.